Are you struggling to find a job? Is applying to a dozen companies getting tiresome? Do you think the whole recruitment system is broken? Well, I do. CVs and cover letters take forever to customize. You spend weeks preparing for the interviews and doing your home tests. You're sending polite emails and dealing with headhunters only to receive a response at the end. We don't think you're the right fit for the position at the moment. What does it even mean? I had 100 interviews and I interviewed 300 people myself. I worked with HRs, talent acquisition specialists, and headhunters. And well, in this video, I want to tell you about everything that is broken about the recruitment system. Let's go. Job descriptions. I want to know exactly what the role is about. What am I going to be doing? Instead of that, I go to the website, I scroll to my job description, I read through 500 lines, and I don't learn any new information. Put the specifics. What are you expecting? So you read through the job description and at least 30 different things that you're going to be doing. I'm like, when I'm going to be doing all of them? I don't have time for this. Like, do you really need a person that is doing like all these 30 things? You need a team to do all these things, not one person. People list everything that you could be doing over years fulfilling this role. What is it I'm going to be doing day to day? I recently interviewed for one company and they had 2 positions opened, a director of product and a senior director of product. And the description was exactly the same, word to word. I'm like, I guess I'm applying for senior director then? So while nobody putting any effort into making their job descriptions, because yeah, why should they? They do expect you to put a lot of effort into creating your resume and creating your cover letter. They expect you to customize your resume for every company, even though you have exactly the same skills, but then you need to write a cover letter. And in the cover letter, you have to convince them that you are the right candidate. And you tell them a story how you were 7 years old, you watched the TV and you saw their product. It changed your life completely. You dreamt your whole life to go and work in that company and help them build more products that change everybody else's lives. You were preparing your whole life for this specific position. You developed your skills, you spent years, and now it's the moment they should hire you. You are the right one. And then after you prepared your resume and your cover letter and you spent your whole life doing it and preparing for this specific position, HRs or hiring managers probably spend about 30 seconds checking just like the 3 lines you put first and like, nah. Next one. Companies want to hire people. They should spend time checking the resumes and cover letter if they expect people to spend time on them. And after all, I do have a LinkedIn profile. I have all the information listed there. This is all my relevant skills and my experiences. It doesn't change depending on the company I apply to. I really hate applying to the companies. To be honest, I have not found a single job in my life by applying somewhere. I got lucky now that recruiters are reaching out to me, so then we interview and I get nice offers sometimes. Rarely. That doesn't happen too often, to be honest. I've only worked in 4 different companies by now. I worked twice in one of them, but 4 different companies, so it's really hard to find a good place. But then sometimes I apply to several companies, and maybe a bit arrogant of me, but I have 12 years of experience, I work in a quite high-level position, so I think I deserve at least a reply, and nothing, silence. It's like, who are you even replying to? Like people with 20 years of experience? People like who are CEO of their own companies and decided to work as a game designer? Who are you looking for? Like, where is my reply? At least reject me. Tell me something. No, nothing. It's just radio silence. And then whenever you're getting rejected or screened out or whatever, like you get no feedback. You're like, you're not the right candidate. We didn't think you fit for the position. Why? And can you elaborate? And like, I spend hours and hours, I invest my emotional energy, I have hopes, I have expectations, and then you say like, nah, sorry. Explain it to me. If I'm spending my time, why nobody respects the candidate's time? Why we're not getting any feedback that is relevant? Let me know what I need to improve. Maybe then I'm gonna go and spend a year honing those skills, developing myself, improving, learning, and then maybe I can apply again. That's a benefit to you, benefit to me. There is a limited amount of really good people, so you want to build a relationship with them. And headhunters are even worse. I had some experience with headhunters in the beginning of my career, And it mostly was just them taking my profile, shoving it in 500 different places, and then I get like tons of interviews with the places, with the positions where my skills don't even match. And I didn't have that information prior to the interview, and then we're looking at the interviewer at each other and like, why are you here? And I'm like, why am I here? Headhunters, they kind of have your interests in mind because they're getting money for you getting hired, but at the same time, they don't care if you like really fit well and if you stay there like for years and it's a great company for you. They just want you to get hired. It's binary, it's 0 or 1. They're always good people. They're always good headhunters. It's not like only bad people go to work as headhunters. I'm pretty sure there are very great professional headhunters that can find somebody a job that they would love, but I did not find those. Or they did not find me. What's up with people requiring a university degree to qualify for a job? I mean, yeah, I get it. Like if you're a lawyer or a doctor, a NASA engineer, yeah, you need an education. But I'm working in game development. There is no good game development education. So in the industries where the market is shifting so fast, your knowledge from the 5 years ago does not apply to the current market. It doesn't make sense to get an education because you're just gonna waste 5 years of your time. You're gonna get a paper. Like, what are you gonna do with it? I mean, yeah, like now, companies that require you an education will gladly accept you, but that's just a mistake. Screening calls. I love those. Aren't those amazing? I had in one company 2 screening calls, first with HR and then with the director of HR, and they were asking exactly the same questions, so they didn't talk to each other after talking with me, and they mostly asked about things that were on my LinkedIn profile anyway. So why do we have those exactly? The issue that I have with screening calls is that HR don't usually know much about the position, so they can't really tell you anything and they can't really check if you're the right fit. So you can tell them whatever you want. You can replace a screening call just with questionnaire, or a hiring manager can go and review the LinkedIn profile in detail, and that's it, like that's enough. Then why do you need a screening call to tell if they're a good fit or not? Like you won't be able to. Instead of having screening calls with HRers, maybe you should have a call with hiring manager. And if hiring manager is busy, which, okay, I get it, it's difficult to have call with everyone, then hiring manager should have their team talk to the candidates. At least their team knows like what kind of skills do you need, and they could dedicate some time to know like if you're the right fit or not. That makes much more sense than talking to HR. Okay, communication. Every HR responds to you swiftly in exactly the same day as you write them. They tell you everything you need to know, they give you feedback, they explain everything they expect from you, they tell you who you're gonna have interviews with. The process is really transparent, you know exact number of steps. No, you don't know anything. They don't tell you who you're gonna interview with, or if they tell you who you're going to interview with, that person changes for some reason to the other one last minute. Nobody respects your time. Nobody respects your time. Nobody understands how you feel when you interview. Like it's like I am putting my energy in there. Like I want to get that job. Like if I didn't want to get that job, I wouldn't interview. Like I usually don't interview to the places I don't want to get the job. Like I don't interview for practice. And then you get on a call with HR and they're like so nice, so polite. I'm looking at that person right now, and they didn't reply to me like for days, ignoring me. And then and now they're like, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Like it's been a while. Like how are you doing? Like, are these 2 different people? Like, or okay, like maybe you're managing 50 candidates and you have no time to reply to everybody. Well then hire more HRs. Like your company needs to hire more HRs, because otherwise, if your hiring process is broken, you're gonna get bad employees, your whole company is gonna suffer. Hiring people is the most important part of the company, because people is the company. If you hire the wrong candidates, or if you lose the good candidates because your hiring process sucks, then this is a problem. Okay, let's talk about home tests and home projects. Not every role has those things, but some do. My role does. And I really hate them. The tests that they give you at home, you might need to spend 20 to 40 hours doing it. That's a lot of time. I need to think, I need to immerse myself. The issue is that if communication up until this point sucked, and usually it did, and then I get a test, it's like, good luck, dedicate 40 hours to our company, and we give you nothing in return just for the chance of applying there. I'm like, nah, thank you. I'm just yeah, I'm not gonna do the test. I withdraw from the process. I don't have 40 hours to dedicate to make it well. I don't want to take the test and just half-ass it. If I'm doing it, you're gonna measure me based on it. So I need to do it really well. Then I need to think about it. I need to push everything else from my life. If I'm working on my YouTube videos, okay, I need to put that on hold. Every evening now, I need to work on the test because I'm competing with people with no job. And if somebody who has no job, it was given 1 week to do a test, they spend 100 hours doing the test. Yeah, their test is better, but that doesn't mean that they're a better candidate. That means that they have 100 hours. I'm working, at least I don't have kids or something. There are people who have wife, 3 kids, and then you give them a test and you expect them to dedicate 40 hours in a week. They say, oh, you can do a test in 5 hours. No, well, you can do the test in 5 hours, but that's gonna be a really bad test. You're not gonna hire that person. They really say you can do it for 5 hours, but we expect you to spend 40 hours, so the test is really cool. And if you wouldn't have a job and family and you can spend 100 hours, well then you're a lucky one. If you're a good interviewer, you can actually just ask 5 to 10 questions during an interview, spend half an hour talking about something related to your job, something related to your previous experiences, and you can tell exactly the same thing that you will get from the test. But people don't want to go on the interview because they need to schedule a meeting, and that's a lot of time. So they're just gonna send the test, it's free. There is no emotional commitment, there is no emotional involvement here. You just get a presentation that is being sent by your HR, you check it, you don't like it, you say reject them, and that's it. There is no commitment here from both sides. I did commit doing the test. I want you to commit now to talk to me. And then they check the test and they say, I don't like it. That's it, that's done, the process done. Maybe you should give me an opportunity to talk about my test, walk you through my thinking process. How did I arrive here? What things did I leave on the side because I didn't have enough time, but I would have done it if it was my actual job. And you're just rejecting me right there after I spent so much time. I don't want to do any tests anymore. I don't want to do any test in any company. Just interviews, that's enough. That should be enough. So finally, I did my resume, my cover letter, I met with 5 different HRs, all the screening calls, I spent a year doing home test, and I got to the interview with somebody who actually knows what the position is about. And we start talking, and I introduce myself, and they start asking questions, and their questions are about basic things that are written in my resume. Why are you asking them? Have you even checked my resume? And they're like, yeah, I glanced over it. You glanced over it? You glanced over my resume? I've been in this process for 2 months and I'm seeing you for the first time and you glanced over my resume and you're asking me, where have I worked in the last 3 years? And then you interview with another person and another person and another person. So you have a few interviews and people ask you the same things. They ask basic questions about your background. So nobody in the company talks between each other when they have interviews. It's just kind of we're going to schedule an interview with this guy and with that guy and with this guy. And we're not going to tell them anything about the candidate. We're just going to send them his resume. They're probably not going to open it, or they're going to open it and just check it for yeah, okay, interesting. I guess I'm gonna ask everything on the interview. They never talk to each other until the very end of the process. So they go on one interview and you answer the same questions, and then another interview and you answer the same things, and then another interview and you answer them again. Could you talk to each other maybe? Maybe you can record my interview on Zoom. I do not mind. Please record me and show it to the whole company so that they can evaluate me based on one recording, and I don't need to answer the same things 10 times over. Have you ever designed a game from scratch? Have you checked my resume? I've been doing games from scratch for my whole life. I've done 10 of them. 10! Why are you asking me, have I done any? Who are you? Why am I here? Why are we talking? Questions that everybody hates. Why do you want to work in our company? I don't want to work in your company. You should convince me, why do I want to work in your company? Why do I want to work in your company? Are you Google? Are you Facebook? Not that I want to work in Google and Facebook, but anyway, are you some well-known company that everybody wants to work on? I have people reaching out to me saying, do you want to interview with us? I'm like, sure, okay, you seems interesting. And then I come to the interview and they're like, why do you want to work for us? I don't want to work for you. You invited me here. I'm here to learn about your company as much as you are here to learn about me. I don't know anything about your company. You reached out to me. I did not do research because I don't care. Tell me Tell me, who are you? Like, why do I want to work in your company? You tell me why do I want to work for your company. Your strengths and weaknesses. Really? Are we going there again? Nobody really truthfully replies to this question. Don't ask it in this stupid way of like, what are your strengths and weaknesses? I don't know. Ask something more specific, like, if you were doing like this task, like, what do you think? Would you have any issues? There's like, I don't know, like, is there any, I don't know, shortcomings you have, like, when it comes to, I don't know, like, specific things? And like, come up with something more original, like this question, like strengths. I was like, I'm always on time, like I do double the work than everybody else. Weaknesses, I work too much, I care too much. Very few people are self-aware to really tell their weaknesses. I mean, it takes a lot of effort to like really reflect and think like, okay, what are my weaknesses that matter? Almost telling them the plan, how are you gonna improve those weaknesses? A lot of people are not confident enough to tell you. It is a really hard question. What do you think about overtime? What do I think about overtime? I don't do overtime. Well, I don't think anything about it. Like, why would I do overtime? Like, is it paid overtime? Like, why is it, like, are you seriously expecting me to say like, oh yeah, sure, like if the company needs me, if the project needs me, I'm always ready to sacrifice my life for getting the same salary that you'll be paying to me. And it's like, yeah, I could get motivated about my job. I could be like smart and like, and maybe I could work like couple hours extra by my own volition. That's different than you saying like, oh, we need to release this project in a month. Let's all work 50 hours this week or 80 hours this week instead. Like, why do we need to release this project in a month? Like, why do I need to sacrifice my life, you giving me nothing in return so we can release this project in a month? Like, do I get something for releasing this project besides salary? Am I getting like 1% of the revenue of this project? How am I connected? Like, you're just paying me salary. I'm giving you my skills. It's a professional relationship. I might like working in the company. I might like working with this team. I might like working on this project. What matters is living a good life, a good balanced life. If you really love your job and you really want to work a lot, yeah, work a lot. I had periods in my life when I worked 12 hours every day, like easily, but I loved it. Nobody told me you have to work 12 hours a day. I worked myself. But now I realized that I could spend this time on my passion projects, on like reading a book that I love, spending time with my family. Like, if it's acceptable to work 12 hours a day, is it acceptable to work 4 hours a day as well, just because I want? Like, you want to work, me to work 12, I want to work 4. Like, what are we gonna do with it? These questions. And then the worst one, why are you the best person for the job? What do you want me to do here? Like, do you want me to sell myself? Yeah, I'm already doing that. I'm trying to answer all your questions, like kind of showing my experience, showing the relevancy of my skills to what you're looking for. It's your job to evaluate if I'm the best person for the job. Like, why are you forcing me to sell myself? Why selling myself now becomes like a part of the interview? Now are you evaluating my skills to sell myself? What, am I a salesperson? I'm working on products. I don't need to sell anything. My job speaks for myself. You can decide if I'm the best person. If not, well then give me some feedback why I'm not the best person, and that's it. Oh, even better, brain teasers. Like, what is this, an IQ test? Ooh, imagine there is a lamp in a room and it's like hidden in a box and you need to turn it on and off 17 times. What would happen? I was like, I don't know what would happen. Like, why are we talking about this? I'm not working on lamps, boxes, rooms, doors, what? Do you not have anything better to ask? Is this the skills that will be required on this job? Am I going to be needed to solve brain teasers every day? If yes, sure then. But if I'm not solving brain teasers on the job, don't ask them. And then nobody really... Like, everybody expects you to put a lot of effort into preparing for those interviews, but why nobody puts effort in improving their skills as an interviewer? And being an interviewer is an actual job. You need to learn how to get better at it. You can't just come over, prepare a list of 20 questions and ask me them in a row without any pause, any feedback, anything. Interview has to be a conversation. You should tell me something. You should ask me questions based on what I just answered. Like, yeah, you prepare a list of general things that you want to know about, but you don't just ask them like one by one by one by one by one. That's not how it works. You should ask a question and like listen what the candidate has to say, and then you can ask them like a follow-up, or like, oh, you mentioned this, like it's really interesting, can you elaborate a little bit on that? I want an engaging conversation. I am dedicating my time to it. I want something in return, not just getting a job, because I am often not getting a job anyway, so make it interesting at least. And then you're out of time. You wanted to ask your question, sorry, got the next meeting, bye. If an interview is 1 hour, then plan 45 minutes for your questions and leave 15 for my questions. Give me some time so I can actually ask questions as well. Because often you like go through several interviews and then you just get an offer. Well, I guess a good problem to have, getting an offer, but then sometimes you get an offer and I don't know anything about this company, they didn't give me time to ask them questions, they didn't tell me anything, so I don't even know if I want to work there. I want to know what I'm going to be doing and like in details and everything. Like if you give me nothing, then I'm not interested. Give me time to ask my questions. Tell me something. Let's have a conversation. Again, conversation, interview is not a one-sided thing. It shouldn't be. It should be a conversation, always. Always. When I interview somewhere, I want to be listened to. I want to be heard. If I'm saying you something, if I'm asking for a specific amount of money, if I'm asking for something at the position, if I'm asking, I don't know, anything, I want to know that you will listen to me. That's what I want. I don't want food and arcade machines. I don't want perks. I don't want gym membership. I mean, yeah, it's all nice, but like every company has it, or like every good company should anyway. But that doesn't make you better than anyone else. Like what makes me want to work for you if I know that you care about me, that you care about me as a person, that you want to hire me not as an assortment of skills, but as a person, like you like me, you think I'm gonna be a good fit in your company, you think that I'm gonna benefit the company, I will help you grow, then I want you to help me grow as well as I work in your company. I want you to hear me, I want you to pay me what I asked, or explain to me like why it can be the case, and explain it to me timely, not at the very end when the only thing I can do now is to reject your offer. Yeah, it's not easy to find a job nowadays. And even if you do find a job, like you rarely enjoy the process. And I want to enjoy the process. I have to admit, there were a few companies which I interviewed at that did it really well, but that's a really rare occasion. I genuinely despise an interview process, and I really dread the moment where I have to find a new job. Actually, you know what? Maybe with your help, I won't have to find a new job. My dream is to make this channel my new day job. So if you can support me, if you can like this video, if you can subscribe to my channel, and if you can hit this little bell so you can get notifications of my videos, that would really help me. Thank you so much. But in the end, we live in the world that we have, and we have to be a part of it. Like we have to find a job, we have to go through the interview process, so we don't have a choice. So if you're curious how to do it better, even if you hate it, then make sure to check out my other videos that I just released recently. I go over like how to pass an interview, like and how to find a job, and I go over like how I prepare myself for interviews. I hope those things should help you. And thanks for watching. I appreciate each one of you. See you later.